Figured might as well go ahead and do a little update again. Sunday night. Was invited to go out and go see the fireworks here on Tuesday and all by some friends, so just trying to keep myself kind of occupied and busy, and figured at least be an opportunity to be able to take some photographs before before I end up moving. Trying to do as much as I can before I leave Oregon. Because I don't see myself returning anytime soon. You know, when you receive so much hatred in one place from even the people closest to you, it just makes you realize that, you know, you don't have any place for you. And it's time to just leave. They may have, you know, had already been planning on walking out, you know, going to get in their own place, that type of thing, for some really stupid reasons, because they just don't want any accountability of what they were doing and what they were allowing to happen. The abuse that was literally being allowed to happen and being fueled through a child and other people. It's like I wasn't allowed to speak up. But also know I'm not having to worry about waking up tomorrow on whether or not... Snoopy, shush. I'm not having to wake up tomorrow worrying about walking on eggshells, basically. Let's just put it in short. It's not like I got screamed at all the time. I got manipulated, and a lot of guilt and a lot of passive-aggressive bullshit. And then there was a lot of lying and cheating going on behind my back. And it was just going on too long. And the way they abused and punished, it was just a really fucked up way. This is why I have no plan or intention to get into another relationship anytime soon. That person really did some damage, and I know they don't give a shit. They're proud of themselves. It's the only thing that makes them feel good is when they know they hurt somebody, because it makes them feel powerful. And when they've got other people applauding them or sympathizing with their bullshit, it's just feeding that fucking ego. But this is why right now I'm just more or less, I just need friends around. I just, you know, people that can help keep me distracted, basically. Let's see if I can change direction here so it's easier to see. And I'm just sitting out here in the fucking dark, obviously. But it's been made clear I'm not wanted around in any form. I mean, the amount of hatred that I've received has just been unbelievable. And because I knew that they were going to continue to do this type of stuff, like I said, even though they planned on, you know, went out of their way, because they've been cheating on me for a while, and they turn around and go and get a place, all this other stuff, and it's like, you know, you wouldn't have done any of that shit if you just taken the time to understand that, look, the abuse and the hate that you fed to people needed to stop, and all you need to do is tell the truth. That's it. But some people are not capable of doing so. They have to stack one lie on top of the other, because they don't want to deal with the fallout. They're afraid of what the fallout could be. But if any of their friends were real friends, they would understand what's going on and why she was doing what she was doing. Doesn't mean they're going to hate her. I think people prefer someone who's being honest, not who's going to keep lying. And Yeah. But because I knew she was going to do it again, it always happens around important holidays. It always happens around her birthday and Christmas. Basically from around her birthday time. So let's say, no, well, yeah. It'll be from like late September all the way into January. And then I deal with that type of shit again from like basically May all the way into going into summer and all. She'll do this shit frequently. I mean, the only reason why it didn't happen last year is because she was using law enforcement as her way of continuing the abuse and control. She constantly threatened me with that. You can't make me leave. I'll just call the cops on you. And it's like, it's not your house. You hate me this fucking much. You don't want... You don't care that I'm being abused on a regular basis and threatened by our own child on a regular basis and all that for the longest time at the time, and you just keep basically telling me I don't fucking matter. I'm a piece of... I'm useless. I'm nothing. And then I'm supposed to keep you housed while you lie to me and cheat on me and then financially exploit me until you find a good job that you're going, oh, I don't need you anymore. You showed who you were just through all of that. The moment I went disabled to the moment you got that job. You've done nothing but seriously abuse the fuck out of me. And then got everybody else to believe that I was the piece of shit. I wasn't allowed to speak up. I wasn't allowed to defend myself. I was not allowed to ask for them to prioritize the relationship. I wasn't allowed to ask for them to stop the fucking hate going on and the abuse going on. I wasn't allowed to ask them to tell the truth. I wasn't allowed to do anything. If I did, immediately, there was going to be gaslighting, provocation, and more threats. And it's like, it just never ended. And I got to the point, as long as I just pretty much shut up and just kept kind of stuck to myself and kept busy, I didn't have to deal with it so much. But in the process of it all, she was already doing her triangulation shit, and she's been doing it for the last 4 years. She'd find somebody else to go fuck around with and then come back. Find somebody else to go fuck with and come back. And her friends would help her do it. Otherwise, she'd use them as the cover. And because I constantly gave her trust and she knew it, she'd keep cheating on me and then continue to lie to everybody what kind of piece of shit I was. Yet if you walked around that property, anything like that, you'd realize that she didn't do shit there. The neighbors witnessed who was doing all the work there, who was fucking killing themselves there, who was literally going crippled for this woman while she fucking used me. They got to hear some of the shit going on. They're not that far away. They're right across the street, right next to us. And the fact that they have security cameras, they can hear what's going on from those. One of the security cameras is not 50 to maybe 50 feet, maybe 50 yards at most. Might as well say that. So maybe 50 yards, 100, 150 feet, somewhere in there. From our bedroom window. Our bathroom window was open quite frequently. She could never sleep without the window open or a fan going. So they heard everything that was going on, and they heard it a lot. They heard what I was saying. They heard her shit. So like I said, there's been multiple people who've witnessed it, and they're the only ones that have stuck by. And those who also know me better than that. And it tended to be people that she ended up blocking that she thinks is a threat, but they're not. They're friends of mine. People who actually knew better and knew me. Who's seen how I was in all my relationships, technically since high school. Some of them since her and I originally. It may be one or two, actually, at this point, because she got everybody else to believe I'm a piece of shit. She destroyed every relationship around me, minus those who witnessed it and those who know better. Snoopy. And so, because I knew this rotation shit was going on, and she's trying to blame me for all this crap, I knew it was happening. I knew it was coming. And that's why I'd planned, at this point, it's been 10 months. that the next time that she was going to do it, I was going to immediately sell the house because I didn't want to go through that rotation of pain again. I didn't want to be sitting there like I am now and just fucking hurting, dealing with it in waves, where some days I'm doing okay, other days I'm doing kind of okay, and then days it's just fucking hitting me all at once. And then it's a roller coaster. That's one thing I don't like about my ASD, because I have to process this stuff as you know, in increments basically. And I knew it was going to happen again. So when I told her the house got sold, she wanted to tell me I was being selfish and only thinking of myself. Well, she'd been cheating on me for months, and then wanted me to take care of all the animals and do all this other shit, while she only wanted to take, you know, 1 or 2 animals and leave me with, you know, a house that was bought to help us out, to help us get on our feet, make things financially easier on us, when really all she did was use me. If any of her friends are watching this and they have the balls, I dare them to ask her to see her bank statements on how many times she ever helped pay for that fucking house. At any point that she helped with those bills, you might find some electric bills that she, you know, dropped $100 or $200 on, but you're not going to see where she's actually made any real payments on anything. She relied on my income first, and then what was left she would kind of carry over a little. That was, you know, with food and all that there, and then that was really it. If we didn't have enough food to get through the month, then she would buy that extra that was needed at the end of the month. Otherwise, she made sure that my income was completely drained before she used any of hers. She always had the excuse and used guilt really well. She's good at guilting people and making them feel bad. She's good at hitting the sympathy strings in people's hearts that care about her. And she plays this, and she keeps playing it until you get burned out on it. It's like, okay, does this ever stop? Sometimes she'll take breaks on it. And then she might be lovey-dovey for a week or two to kind of get you back to going, okay, things are okay again. And then right back to the shit again. And this will go on. And at first it might happen like once every couple months. And then it'll start happening every few weeks, and then it'll start happening every couple weeks, and then might as well say it ends up happening once or twice a month. And this will be a regular thing, to the point you'll end up going months before she actually shows any real love towards you. She just tells you it, and then blames you for why there's all these problems going on. And this will continue to go on, and while she's blaming you, she's already telling your friends, her family, and everyone else that you're shit. She starts out by getting her family to turn on you, so that way she has that base support. She gets her, will turn, even if you got kids around, she'll turn your kids. She did that to me with my youngest, and she did that through my oldest too. They both did it to me. And then, because I ended up in a really bad meltdown, I ended up getting really angry with my younger son. Because of all the flaking and all, I think I got more angry with him than my oldest, because I sort of expected my oldest to do what he was doing, not my younger. I raised my younger son, and my younger son should have known better by this point, but no, I had my relationship with my kids fucked. And through it all, it's not her fault, even though she can admit it to you direct. She'll admit things to you directly, and if you don't keep that, basically, like if you don't have a recording of it, or if she admits it in text and you don't take a screenshot of it or save those messages, she'll continue to play you as a fucking idiot. And she'll tell you straight up that, I'm sorry I did this to you, but you're going to have to deal with those consequences. While to everybody else, she's telling them it's on you. And like I said, she'll turn her family on you first, and then she'll start working on your friends. And if you have kids, she'll work on your kids. And eventually it'll start worming in towards your family. She almost had my parents turned against me. Her and my son, and well, both my kids at that point. My parents and I have always been somewhat on the rocks anyways with their relationships, but out of my 2 brothers, I've been the one who's always been there for my parents. I'd always take the shit that I've dealt with and put it to the side to try and be there for my parents for nobody else would. Because I proved my kids lied about saying, oh, we didn't say we would help. I showed the messages and all that. They did it more than once. They kept flaking. So that's what caused my folks to kind of step back and be like, wait a minute, they're lying now. And they started being more cautious. And then they started, yeah. The downside is the whole thing really fucked up every relationship around myself and even them. I already know, and I keep telling them, if I move and they stay here, their grandkids, especially my son, my younger one, and their great-grandchild will be here almost, not just once a month. They'll be here probably more frequently. The only reason why they haven't come around since I've had to sell my home is because I'm here. And then they play me for stupid. I get, things have been crazy, all this shit. I get excuses. I know better. I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. I'm just not going to keep confronting it every time. It gets to a point, it's like, I get it, and, well, once I'm gone, and it's a goodbye even to the one child I raised and I loved very much and I miss every day. And I won't be looking back anymore. As angry as all them can get with me about that, I didn't alienate my parents like what was done to me. I didn't tell my parents to go fuck themselves on a regular basis, basically, and then give them the silent treatment for going on 5 years now. That's silent abuse that's gone on. I've gotten it from just about every other person. My kids, friends, everything. That's what they do. They just don't talk to you. They might respond to you once in a while, but they don't talk to you. And so they make you feel like you don't exist and that you're just a ghost and you're dead. So that's why like I said, and I keep saying, I knew what was coming. But the way I planned it out was, the option was if things had continued to work between us, then, and the house got sold, we could have ended up with a better home. I would have had the option to be able to start a business like I've been planning. And she wouldn't have had to change careers. She would have been able to continue what she was doing. But instead, she didn't give a shit about that. She only cared about what she wanted. She only cared about what kind of attention she was getting and making me out shit. And I knew that the way I had things planned, whether she was there or not, it was going to happen. And yeah, I waited for her to pull her shit again, to say, fuck it, I'm selling the house, I'm not doing it anymore. Because originally, literally the day that she called to tell me that she was cheating on me and leaving, and that she got approved for another apartment, I was in the process of getting ready to start finishing the bathroom. And that's when I said, you know what, fuck it. Why should I bother to keep doing this shit for someone who keeps using me? Why should I get myself stuck in a location and only for the chance of her to do it again? To start sending me a message, I love you, I miss you, why won't you talk to me again? I have those messages. Emails, text messages, all that. Down to using some duo thing. And while she's doing that, she tells everybody what kind of piece of shit I am. She doesn't want to tell people the truth. So that's why I'm not giving that opportunity. If she really wants to actually try and actually have something like that and actually have a fucking relationship, yeah, she better be prepared to go 2,000 plus miles to fucking make it happen, because I'm not playing the games. I've been done with them a long time ago. That's why I started shutting down in February. She had I don't know how many Christmases I've gone without seeing my kids and all that shit. I don't know how many birthdays, Father's Days, all that shit. Not even get to talk to them. As a child, I would grow up and my parents would go to the beach for Christmas and everything while I got stuck home alone. She knew that. She knew the abuses that I dealt with from my family, and realistically all she did was just repeat a lot of them, minus certain things. So, no, I gotta go in, try to relax. Gonna head out tomorrow to the coast, so that way got basically all day Tuesday to enjoy it out there, and then watch the fireworks, get some photos done and all that shit, and I'll post up the photos. I might even do a little vid. I don't see the point of recording fireworks. Nobody's gonna be watching videos of people's fireworks. But I might do a little vid. Something like that. So, yeah. Have a good night.